Well, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get this meeting going. In an attempt to try and maintain a little sense of normalcy, we always start with the pledge. I'd ask everyone to start the pledge with me, if you wouldn't mind. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, folks. I think we'll go ahead and open up this meeting. It looks like everybody that's on understands the, the policies or the etiquette as far as muting your mic. It just helps me. One, it keeps down on the background noise. Also, it helps me when I see your mic light up that you're wanting to speak. So first thing on our agenda is the consent agenda. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, motion has been moved and seconded. Moved by Lloyd, seconded by Dossie. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're good. Well, we got a few minutes here to kick around and BS, because we've got the next on the agenda is the 9:35 a.m. public hearing on the liquor license. Just for everyone that's listening out there, if you do have public comment, you should be logged in, and we will try to get you in as easily as possible if there's public comment on this. But until then, I think we'll just kind of chill for a bit. Commissioner Fulkerson.
Yes, I have a technical challenge on my end. I'm getting a tremendous glare off of Hans Odie's forehead. I don't know if we can fix that. It would greatly help. Thank you, Mr. Acting Chairman.
There we go. Problem solved.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Teal.
Mr. Chairman, do you have when it comes to vote time, do you have a problem with just a thumbs up or down as opposed to hitting the mic every time?
That works quite well. That way everyone doesn't have to log in. Deputy Clerk Odie, I see you're live. Did you have comments?
No, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to apologize to the commissioners and everyone out there who's watching. I can't help my challenge of being follically disadvantaged.
We're good. I think we're good. There's probably a support group for that.
There probably is. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
one clarification on the minutes. Everybody was good with the minutes that ended with Lee's comments, correct?
That's what we heard. Yes, that's what we heard.
All right, thank you.
I see caller number 2 is on. Joy Hill, is that you again? Yes, not.
Hi, this is Karen Horner.
Oh, good morning, Karen.
Morning.
Well, we're right in close enough on that. I'll open up the public hearing. Deputy Clerk Hans Odie, this is a public hearing on Park County liquor license for Community Mountain LLC doing business as Sleeping Giant. Hans.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Board, I appreciate the time this morning. This is the public hearing for the liquor license for Community Mountain LLC. Mr. Nick Piazza is the proprietor of that LLC. Of course, this is the Sleeping Giant ski area and lodge. This is a new license. the Sleeping Giant had a license previously under Yellowstone Recreations LLC. Yellowstone Recreations sold their interest in the lodge, and therefore that negated or made their license cease to exist. Went back to the county in other terms. So this is a new license application from Mr. Piazza. I verified all of that with the state, and they're good with how we're going about this. This will be a license term from today through July 24th of 2021. It's a prorated license for that time period. I've been through the license application with the state of Wyoming, and everything is in order. Mr. Piazza's got a lease with the Forest Service that is good through 2059. That lease allows them to sell liquor on the forest property. So that's one of the requirements from the state, is that they've got that lease, and that we've shown that lease to the state and those provisions within the lease. This is really straightforward. Mr. Piazza's entered all of his financial information with us in the state. They reviewed that, and I've got the email from the state that says that this application is in good standing, and they approve of it going forward to the commissioners for your consideration. Mr. Chairman, I would turn it over to you now.
Okay, thank you, Hans. I did touch base with District Ranger McQuiston on the Shoshone National Forest, just to make sure that they were all good with everything. He had no comments. This is a public hearing. I will ask for comments or questions from staff and commissioners first. Anything from commissioners? Seeing head shaking no. Public hearing, any public comment? We got Pat Stewart, she's public. She could comment if we needed to. Okay, hearing no public comment, I'd entertain a motion to close public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I move to close public hearing.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of closing public hearing? Okay, motion passes. Entertain a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the liquor license for Mountain LLC DBA Sleeping Giant.
Moved and seconded. Moved by Commissioner Overfield, seconded by Commissioner Fulkerson. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye or thumbs up. Motion passes. Thank you, Hans. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will need a signature from you. Can I have Susan stamp that for you?
Yes. Yes, you
Thank
can.
you.
All right. Well, we're moving ahead pretty quickly, but I do see that Karen Horner, Director of Park County Library, is on, as well as Pat Stewart from the Park County Library Board. Karen or Pat, are you expecting anyone else to join in for this morning?
No, we're not.
Okay. Well, then I think we'll just move right into it. We're going to visit with you about approval to replace Park County personnel. Go ahead, Karen.
Thank you. And
Actually,
had that.
I'll
right,
put you on hold for a second.
let me just preface these comments today with a note that one of the positions is the second one in the TTC. And that one we brought to you not that long ago, John and Francis. You probably remember the discussion about it being the only other position in the TTC. So I don't know that we need to repeat a lot of the information on that job, but Karen has details on, well, she has details on both jobs. But we'll start with the first one. Go ahead, Karen.
Thank you, Pat, and I hope all the commissioners are staying well and healthy, and I'm sure it's frustrating for you guys to have to do your meeting this way. I just wanted to come in front of the commissioners and seek approval. We just recently have had somebody, a Cody employee who has been with us long-term, has retired, and we're looking to refill her position. And it is a kind of crucial position. She is our main circulation person who you see right when as you walk in the door, Holly Goodman. She's been with us a long time, and she is our Saturday and evening person, our weekend person. So it is a really crucial position that we fill. And then the other position that we're seeking is the second Matisse person. She has given us a fair warning that she'll be leaving in December, middle December, and they're leaving out of state for family reasons. And so, of course, with school, this position is required since we, have the relationship with the school, and also the amount of hours that we're required to be open there in Matisse. It does warrant needing another person in that position. So these are the two positions that we're just looking for approval. Of course, they're already budgeted for, and we're looking really just to replace them, not change anything, just replace them. So
Okay, Pat, are you going to have the ability to possibly bring either one in, at a lower rate of pay than you are currently?
In all honesty, I can't imagine any lower pay than what they're getting. They're really, these two positions are really at the lowest paid pretty much in our library. So,
Okay.
I can't see lowering the wage at all. What we're looking is really just to kind of fill that position at the current rate that we are doing it.
Are those positions going to be, have either one of them been vacant? I understand the Matisse one is giving you fair warning as the other retiree.
Yes.
Has that position been vacant for any amount of time?
This one, no, because this person has actually been here for, I want to say probably 10 years that this position has been there. It's just really they're the only person that we have they're our consistent weekend and evening person. And because, our library is normally it's open 7 days a week, if a person works 40 hours, it does provide that gap and having someone covered that when the other staff has already worked their full 40s. And so if we don't replace this position, then the staff that would have to cover it would then get overtime, and that would create its own expense and cost. So it would actually be better for us to replace this position instead of having to get staff do overtime.
Well, and I understand that, and I certainly hope we don't get to that point, but it's based upon the declining revenues in the county. We might have to start looking at shortening hours and shortening services in a lot of our, a lot of things that the county does. And so I guess, it is in the budget. You've got a budget, you got the commission's budget. The Matisse position I see is a kind of a mandatory position. But just, keep in the back of your mind, we might start thinking about what we have to do to start cutting costs.
Absolutely. And I'm definitely, me and Pat have spoken, and we're definitely open to ways that we can save and kind of, look at ways creatively, and even with these, and just speaking with this one position for Cody, we're looking at ways to maybe still hire someone, but actually maybe be able to incorporate more duties into this position so that it wouldn't require us to perhaps in the future look at adding a whole new position. So we're looking at how to best maximize what we have. Absolutely.
Great. Thank you. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, Mr. Commissioner. Yeah,
Go ahead,
on
Pat.
that subject, we're currently undergoing a review of all positions, job descriptions, and salary levels. So we'll have the results of that in hopefully the not too distant future. But I don't see that these particular two positions, because they are, the one in Matitsi is, as Karen just very cogently put out, said, is really necessary to Matitsi. Are all those hours necessary? Well, as Karen said, otherwise we're looking at paying overtime. And Holly, of course, has been a key person. The salary level is $28,000 a year. It's very low. I'm not sure we could get anyone else who could do the job as well for less than that. So that's our situation, and we hope very much that you will see fit to approve those two positions.
Questions, comments? I'm not seeing anything. What's your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, as I understand it, this is kind of an administrative oversight that we don't have to actually approve those positions for the library. We appreciate the dialogue and we welcome Karen. We appreciate you keeping us in the loop. It's within your budget. So I don't believe this requires any action on our part, Mr. Chairman.
It doesn't. We can give them our blessing.
Great. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. and Madam Commissioners.
Namaste.
Stated, this is your budget, your department. You guys, we're not going to, we really can't. So go forward, Phil, and keep doing the good work as long as we can.
Thank you very much. And
we'll keep you in the loop.
you very much.
Thank you both.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, maybe we need to keep these meetings as Zoom meetings or GoToMeetings, because they roll along quite well. We can go to a break and circle back with Nurse Crampton and Dr. Billen later, or we can see if they're available. I don't see them on right now, but
I think they're on speaker piece right now.
Yep.
So they are stuck with sticking with the schedule. So anything else? I see your mic still lit up, Commissioner Fulkerson.
Yeah, one thing that might prove challenging, I only have one screen here at home. If we have to follow along with all the documents and looking at the screen at the same time, we might have to, I would need a little practice at that, bouncing back and forth between the screens.
You can do a couple of things. What I've done is because I went ahead and picked up a county laptop, is I'm streaming the meeting through my home computer, and then I've got my county laptop sitting here next to me. You can also, it's a little bit problematic or challenging as far as folks, it makes it smaller, but you can do a split screen. But these county laptops, with the small as the screen is, you go to a split screen, I'm going to need a lot stronger readers if I tried doing that. So no, what I've done is I've got my county laptop set up here next to me, and that's what I'm using to follow what we got going on. But it is a good point. Okay, anything else before we go to break?
Mr. Acting Chairman, I have to say you're doing a fine job keeping the schedule.
Did I get an Emmy for this performance? Acting? All right, well, I will see everybody back here. Do not log out of this meeting. Well, I guess you can. You can jump right back in. That's right, as long as the meeting stays open. But I will see everyone back here at 10:15.
Who just joined the meeting? Who just joined the meeting, please? Who is D that just joined the meeting? Hello? Who just joined the meeting?
Okay, well, it looks like I'm not seeing Bill or Dr. Billin, so we'll just wait for them. I think Jake was having a little issues getting back in. I'm not sure what's going on there. So we'll just hang tight until we see Bill and Dr. Billin show up. Susan, have you heard anything from Bill or Aaron? They might have gotten held up a little bit coming back from the radio.
No, I went down to public health too, and she says they're on their way, so I'm not
Okay.
seeing them yet.
Just stand by.
oppositional than in support.
Good morning, Aaron. How are you?
Morning, how are you?
Good. Are you expecting Nurse Cramper to join as well?
Yes, Bill, we just got off the radio with Darren Dudrick. Bill was headed to his office to log in.
Copy that. Well, we'll just stand by until he shows up. Just what I've been having everyone do, Dr. Billen, is if you can kill your mic unless you're talking, and it's somewhat for background noise, but also it gives me an alert that you're wanting to speak. Same for you, Brian. Edwards, if you could, there you go. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Livingston, Bill's logging on right now.
Great. Well, we'll get started as soon as I see him show up. And there you are, Bill. Thank you. Your mic's muted right now, Bill.
Okay, is that Dr. Billen hidden down here? There he is. Okay.
Yep.
Dr. Billen, you're
So, Bill, what
muted.
I am doing is just, you guys are going to be doing most of the talking for the next few minutes, and then I'm sure we'll be bouncing some stuff off you. But if you're not on, just go ahead and click your mic off, and that keeps down on the background noise and gives a signal that you guys want to talk. So I'm going to open this part up. We have Public Health Officer Dr. Billen, Public Health Nurse Manager Bill Crampton to give us an update. Seems like we've got a lot of stuff happening quickly here lately. So the floor is yours. Thank you. Need you to click your mic on, Dr. Billen.
There we go. Old dog, new tricks, Lee. Okay.
Yep.
I think it is no doubt, no surprise to everyone that we're seeing a significant rise in COVID-19 cases in Park County. What's happening in Park County is mirrored throughout Wyoming. I am completely in support of how the state and how the county have managed at this point, but things are changing. We have averaged between 8 and 12 people hospitalized with COVID-19 locally. Everybody seems to think of this in terms of people getting sick and being hospitalized for COVID-19. But we already know that the ability to care for heart attack patients at Cody Regional Hospital has already been compromised. Their cath lab has been closed intermittently throughout this pandemic because their staff has either been isolated or quarantined. So there's been times we can't take care of heart attack patients. South Dakota's hospitals are full and they're sending their patients to Wyoming. Our normal referral patterns for people who require tertiary care are to either St. Vincent's Hospital or Billings Clinic in the Northern Bighorn Basin. Right now, we can't send patients very easily to Billings. Patients with strokes, heart attacks, trauma, we tend to get them through because they're a high priority. But we've already seen multiple people who are employees of Cody Regional Hospital being issued modified quarantine orders because without them working, even though they have a family member who's positive, the hospital can't run. And so everybody is probably aware of my recent email where we took the steps of sending a letter first to the governor encouraging a statewide mask requirement. Currently, Wyoming is number 4 in terms of new cases of COVID-19 nationally per 100,000 people in the last 7 days. And Wyoming is number 3 in deaths due to COVID-19 per capita within the last week. Third in the nation, behind only North Dakota and South Dakota. And they last on Saturday morning announced 17 deaths at once. They're now, of course, being batched. We have 2 deaths at Powell Valley Healthcare that haven't been announced yet because their death certificates haven't been completed. So I think this has always warranted significant concern. We're now approaching a dire situation, both in Park County and in Wyoming. And following the leadership and coordination with the state health officer and the other county health office, we felt it was important to take this effect, to take this step of submitting a variance for a mask requirement in Park County to mirror those that have already been approved in other counties. Anything else in particular, Commissioner Livingston, you'd like me or Bill to address?
No, I mean, you've seen my comments and my sentiments. I'm not arguing the effects or of a mask, wearing a mask. I'm just, if we're going to try and get them on, I'm just not sure it's going to work, but I'm not the expert.
And Commissioner, I know exactly where you're coming from. You've pointed out that you've spent your whole life around livestock. That's why they call it herd immunity. There's principles from veterinary medicine that apply here because we're dealing with a herd when we deal with the whole county at one time. And your input is important. We've done our best to keep county commissioners and elected officials throughout the county informed of every step of the process along the way. But as many people have pointed out, having a mask mandate is one thing, enforcing it is yet another. And I've had extensive discussions about this with the county attorney. No one is looking for people to come into your business and haul you away and put you in jail because you're not wearing a mask. But we're counting on this being a shot between the eyes for the people of Park County to say, I guess this is serious. We better wear our masks too. And that's what we're counting on. The issue of enforcement is a whole nother discussion. We're not going to solve it here today, but most of the commissioners have voiced their support for strong education. And I believe Bill and I are along those lines too. It will give business owners more tools at their disposal to encourage people to wear masks in their business. So I know that's a sticky wicket, and it's not going to be solved anytime soon.
Nope. Bill, I see you're on. Do you have something to say?
I just wanted to point out, some people on the radio this morning seemed to think that I was threatening businesses. And I just wanted to make sure everybody understood I'm not the one making threats. I'm just pointing out what I believe I heard the governor say Friday, that if we don't take care of this locally, he's going to be forced into a corner where he's going to have to take more serious, more stringent statewide actions, and that may be lockdowns. So I've just been putting it in very simple terms. Either we go along with this mask requirement here in Park County, or we may have businesses shut down again. Which way do you want to go?
Yeah, no, I completely understand where you guys are coming from, and I just have concern about, if it's not going to be enforced, then why are we doing it? If we pursued a stronger education message, I know we've been talking about it. We've been talking about it. I just want to, I want the folks out there that are listening to take one thing away from all the discussions we're having. I know for myself, and I don't believe there's any one of us out there, Dr. Bell and Bill, the rest of the commissioners, anyone that has made a decision, has got up in the morning and said, I'm going to make a decision to harm Park County. I believe that in my heart that every one of us, with the decisions we're making, we're feeling, I know I am, we're feeling they are in the best interest of Park County. We disagree on some of them, but we still, I believe, have the well-being of the folks here as our utmost concern. So I just want folks out there to understand that, Dr. Bill's been getting beat up. I know Bill's been catching it too. We catch it to a lesser degree as commissioners, but we're not out here trying to harm Park County. We're wanting to do what's best for it. Again, we have different opinions. I would hope that Park County would, if they feel it's necessary, would step up to the plate and start doing it without a mandate, but that's my opinion. Commissioner Fulkerson, I see your mic's on.
Yeah, Dr. Bill, and I appreciate your leadership in this. I'm 100% supporter of this, especially without an enforcement aspect. We talk about supporting the healthcare workers, and you put a happy face on Facebook, or you buy them a cup of coffee. Well, let's really support them and put this in place to support our healthcare workers. Can you talk about how the educational piece will work? Is it just going to be the standard messaging? I know the state's looking at a big messaging campaign, or would it be specific educational opportunities for individual businesses, or what do you envision there, Dr. Bill?
Well, in concert with Bill and the incident management team, a very capable incident management team, we have done everything we can think of. We've used every media outlet. We go on the radio regularly. We release press releases to the newspaper. We use social media, mostly Facebook. We're not really adept at Twitter at this point, but I think, and we've even had the efforts of Dr. Elise Lowe, the lead hospitalist at Cody Regional Hospital, who when months ago, she contacted us and asked, what can we do? What can I do personally? And we gave her a job. And she teamed up with Nick Piazza, and together they have created Mask Up Park County, which has been an educational arm of this effort for a long time and has given out cash awards to businesses where people mask up, has been at the rodeo, as Leah's aware, and handed out $50 bills to people wearing masks, all trying to put a positive spin on this. I don't have, and I don't know that Bill has, a new message that we're going to roll out as of Wednesday. We just need to continue doing what we're doing and do even more. Education is important, and unfortunately, as I mentioned, enforcement is a whole nother issue. We've had county attorneys in other counties who have gone on the radio and said that they're not enforcing a mask mandate, and that is not my expertise. It is the domain of the county attorney and the 3 law enforcement agencies we have in this county, and we work together as close as we can, but I'm going to have to leave it up to them. What's the right way to handle this?
So, Dr. Bill, one thing, and maybe it's already happening out there. My line of work keeps me out of town, and now that I'm on quarantine, I've actually got even a better excuse for not going to town. But is there a uniformity and signage that can be provided to businesses to, ask or require, masking in this establishment? You go around, before when it was happening, you'd see handwritten signs, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not sure if that's if that would be a good thing. But if they have a sign that is provided to them that say, and it can be, try to make it as light as you can, but under current health order, Park County, Wyoming, this is what's required. And it gives them, I understand there's some businesses out there that want cover. I'm of the personal feeling that if you don't want to go into business, it's not masked up, don't go in. But there are some businesses that feel that they're getting beat up by the public if they ask for a mask wearing in their establishment. So is there something along those lines that might be available?
Commissioner, I will defer to Bill on that one and the efforts that are underway to do some consistent signage and messaging. Bill?
We had that discussion last night when we discussed this with the community. Commissioner Fulkerson was on that call. And basically, there's some free signage that we've downloaded and given to Tina Hobel-Heinrich from the chamber and Rebecca Burns over in Powell, so that they can start passing those out to the community as a whole. So
Great. Thank you. I just saw something pop in my inbox from Director Tatum along those lines. So yeah, it'd be, let's say it might help the businesses out, make them a little more comfortable with moving forward with this.
yeah, I agree.
Now, Commissioner Livingston, I will have to point out, everybody at the county level would like to point to the state right now and say, we're doing it because they say so, to take the heat off us locally. Bill and I are not elected officials, and that is by design. We have elected officials in the legislature that set up Title 30 the way it is, and we feel it's working the way it was intended based upon the state legislatures and what they set up. But all the elected officials have a difficult time with this. We understand the difficulty and the political expediency of doing what we do. And we feel that the governor on Friday morning made clear his support of masks and his support that control be local. And so over 3 weeks, the county health officers have been discussing this, and we decided it was time after our discussion with the governor on Thursday morning to do what he was asking us to do. And that's why we're moving forward.
I would like to ask that this morning on the radio, we were basically accused of bypassing the commissioners and implementing all this stuff on our own without any input from the commissioners. And for whatever reason, I couldn't get the person that was saying that to understand that we've involved you and told you what was going on all along. And so if you hear that stuff, I hope that you let everybody know that you talked to, that you knew where we were going, when we were going.
We might not have liked it, we knew.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Bill and I don't believe in just going out and doing stuff willy-nilly. You're going to know what we're doing, and that's the purpose of these updates as well. So that one kind of bothered me, and I wanted to make sure that you understood. We got some of that this morning, and I don't believe it's true. And if I'm wrong,
I fully expected to hear some of that.
Yeah. Commissioner Livingston, if I could point out how I feel my relationship with the county commission is, I am appointed and hired by the county commissioners, and that's what happened about 6 years ago when we entered into this arrangement. But my authority comes from, and I'm responsible to, the state health officer and the state health department. There's a reason you have a physician and a nurse in these positions. There's a reason that Bill and I are not elected. We are not beholden to a political party. We're not beholden to people, to our people who elected us. And this has been set up this way for a reason. We value the opinion of the elected officials and the community leaders in Park County very highly. And we listen carefully to all things, but we think this is working the way the state legislature intended it to work when they set up and passed Title 30 of the state statutes.
Commissioner Overfield, did you have something?
Just got a note from one of the local businesses that said that they did get the sign thing emailed to them, but there was nothing on it about being a mandate. So I guess until it's signed, or if that works out that way, maybe we need to take a look at that wording, because that would help the businesses to probably take the heat off if it did say that, rather than just their desire. And the other thing would be, I think the education piece is super important on the hospital availability side, speaking from somebody that's needed a hospital a couple times in the last month, critically. I think that's very important to anybody on Main Street to know that you could be in trouble and not have help.
Commissioner Overfield, that's a very important point. We see, if we don't do something locally, we see the state taking steps that we may not like, and we see the process, the situation progressing to the point that hospitals have to start limiting services. It's already happened in Park County, and we are dangerously close to it happening again. And we have great surge plans in place in combination, all the hospitals in the Northern Bighorn Basin and in Billings. But we know what happens with the best laid plans. Sometimes they don't go the way we expect them to go. Last shift I worked at the Powell Valley ER, I took a transfer of a COVID patient from Cody Regional Hospital. That's never happened before. We've never taken a patient from Cody Regional Hospital for any reason. Usually it's up the line, not a lateral transfer in care. I'm aware that Lovell Hospital took a seriously ill patient and transferred from Billings Clinic. Lovell Hospital is staffed by a PA, not to degrade PAs, but they're a small county critical access hospital. If these are the things we're being forced to do, we know this is getting serious. We are now taking care of patients that normally we wouldn't feel comfortable taking care of. We would have sent these patients to tertiary care. And it's not just COVID patients, it's patients with strokes, patients with heart attacks, and trauma.
Well, the situation all of us are in is we'll know if we don't do anything if it's wrong. We won't know if what we've done is right, if it works. We really, I don't think that I think we'll do everything we can, and we won't be able at the end of it to say, look, what we did worked. But if we don't do anything, there could be a good chance that it doesn't work. I believe, again, as I shared with you, I believe that if we want to slow this down, people need to stay outside, away from others, and which is, again, is pretty easy for me, or, mask up. I'm not arguing about it working, but I just hope that with the direction we're going puts more masks on. Commissioner Teal.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman, and everybody. I'd like to comment, if I could, to the email that I sent last Friday. Somewhat of an apology. I've been told by even my kids, don't send an email under tense feelings and things like that. Draft it up, read it, sleep on it even. After reading it, I'm not sure I would change a whole lot. I have read through your mandate, Dr. Billen, and to be honest with you, I really don't have any issues with what you're trying to do and anything we can help. What I have an issue with, and part of it, the whole COVID thing has everybody stressed out and on edge, and just spent 3 days, full days working cows and shipping, and got back Friday night from this after taking a beating at the market on cattle prices, and read your email. And what I have an issue with was the delivery of it, basically, and in specific on the fact that you said that the people of Park County weren't stepping up and being responsible. And as an elected official, I don't think that is true at all. Now, granted, you're going to have some people, whether it's a mandate or even an enforceable one, that are going to bow their head and not do things. But the majority of people in Park County has really tried. They really have. And this uptick, you can say that we are per capita way up there and everything, but it's not just local. It's not just Park County. It's across the country. I watch the news as well. The uptick in the COVID cases are happening. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist, but this isn't an isolation to Park County. And I guess that's why I took offense to your initial email, was more or less, I felt you were attacking the people that I represent and trying to put blame on them. And that probably wasn't your intention, but that's where I was coming from. And like I said, I probably should have toned my email down. I know I ruffled some feathers with everybody here. But looking through your mandate, I really don't see that this is going to really harm anybody. It will maybe bring a little bit more attention. If we get a few more people to go that extra mile, I support it. I just, I guess that's where I'm at on that. So, I would love to work with you, and I will defend our decision here, or your decision, I guess, as it goes. I do have an issue with, I guess, making mandates that we can't enforce. But I guess it is what it is. I mean, we have all kinds of rules in our county right now that we can't enforce, but I also have a problem with them. But moving forward, I would like to think that you can open up to me anytime, and I'm not afraid to tell you what I think.
Commissioner Thiel, I really appreciate your comments. I greatly respect you and the entire commission. And I agree, I'm as guilty as anyone else as firing off an email without thinking about it. That's why I think letters are so much better. You gotta find a stamp and put it in an envelope. You had a lot of time to think about what you said by the time you get to the mailbox. So I agree that we're all united here in wanting to do the best thing for Park County. But as Bill's pointed out, I think there's a reason the most recent orders that took effect yesterday are only in effect for a week. It's because the state has plans. And if we don't preempt this and do what can be done, we're looking for things that are going to hurt our economy and close some businesses. So I think, as Commissioner Thiel has pointed out, we need to realize that we all want the right thing for Park County. We all want the same thing. And so I think good communication and working together is how this is going to work.
Dr. Billen, just a couple of questions. What do you see? I understand. I had a conversation with the governor, and that was his desire is this is kind of a stopgap before businesses or schools or anyone. We're trying to keep them going forward, trying to keep them moving forward, not going backwards. And no one wants to go back to what we had this spring. But what are your feelings on if we get this in place with the schools, being able to continue to operate?
Well, I'm the first one to admit that back in late March and April, we did too much. We did too much in Park County. We did too much in Wyoming. We did too much nationwide because this is a virus that no one knew existed before December of 2019. I've said many times, I wish we saved something back then to do now. Nobody wants to go backwards. But we've all learned at the same time about this. As far as schools go, both Bill and I are of the opinion that kids need to be in school. There are far greater things. Everything is a risk to benefit analysis at every step of the way. As county commissioners, you can't please or help someone without pissing off or angering somebody else. That's just the way public policy goes. And we believe that that kids are better in schools than sitting in front of a computer at the dining room table with mom who can't go to work because their kid's home. And the schools have done a phenomenal job. I think the superintendents in our county are owed a great debt of gratitude for how safe they've kept our schools and kept our kids. But there is an end date on this mask mandate, and that end date is January 4th. It gets us through the holiday season. Keep in mind that everything we do is temporary. Everything's temporary. Dr. Fauci and the CDC we have 2 vaccines now. The Pfizer vaccine, which is shown to be 90% effective, and the Moderna vaccine, which is 95% effective with minimal side effects. Unfortunately, that's been politicized just like everything else. We have people saying that we're all going to die. We have to keep everything locked down. And by the way, I'm not taking a vaccine that was developed while the current president was president. We need to separate the politics from this. These vaccines have been developed at a pace that exceeds every vaccine in the past, but I think the right steps have been taken. We're looking for vaccines to be available for our first tier of implementation sometime in December, and that's going to involve healthcare providers, first responders, essential community leaders. And then the second tier is going to involve people that are essential to the economy, grocery store workers, truck drivers, and things like that. Bill could provide you with documents about the state's plan. The state's had a plan in place for vaccination distribution, but hopefully by mid-year next year, anyone who wants a vaccine will have received it. So this is a temporary measure, and there is a vaccine on the horizon, and we can establish vaccine herd immunity much quicker than we can natural herd immunity. Natural herd immunity in this case is going to take years. We can do this in a month or two if we have a good vaccine, and a vaccine is on the horizon.
Great.
I I would like to point out that we are doing vaccine planning now. And as the people down in Cheyenne have talked about it, we don't even know if this particular vaccine's coming. As you may know, the two companies have a vaccine. One of them is Pfizer, and delivery of it requires super, super cold temperatures, which requires a lot of planning in advance so we don't waste a lot of vaccine. And then the second vaccine is by a company named Moderna, and they are saying that it may not require the extreme cold temperatures that we're talking about for the Pfizer vaccine. It may be able to even last as much as 30 days in a refrigerated environment, which could be an advantage. We don't know what we're getting, and we don't know when we're getting, but we are doing planning and getting the various hospitals involved, and starting to try to determine who wants the vaccine so that when we thaw it out, depending on what it is, we're not wasting any. So there are plans occurring as we speak.
Well, hell, I've read and heard that the deworm or the livestock deworm or ivermectin is the cure-all, and I think Commissioner Teal and I are probably in pretty good shape if that's so. You just ask me if you want an injector, if you want the paste.
I think that's a good point. It was investigated in Australia, ivermectin, and it showed wonderful results in vitro, meaning in a petri dish, but when you did it in vivo, in a live organism, it didn't work quite as well. So have at it, Commissioner. Start down in that ivermectin.
Someone's going to have to hear me down. I'll have to hear them down if we're going to get her done that way.
I even have the Poron. We can put it in our foggers.
Okay, well, I sure, I appreciate you guys coming on. Do we have any more questions? Do you guys have anything else for us? I guess, Dr. Billum, give me a little bit of a timeline. What do you think is going to happen on the order?
Well, on this order, as you know, mass mandates have already been instituted in Teton, Albany, and Laramie counties.
And Natrona, I think, haven't they?
Maybe it would have been within the last few days if it wasn't Natrona. But Mark Dowell and Gazzy Ganem, the county health officers down there, are battling some very oppositional leadership, and they're having a tough time. So I think Bill and I are blessed up here to have smart, articulate community leaders that.
What are you talking about?
Well, it's not you, Commissioner Livingston. But
good.
I think we're having a better go of it than they're having in other counties, is my point. They're having a real difficult time. And I think as far as the timeline, we chose to use a plug-in option of the Albany County mandate. Just plug in the Park County specific verbiage. It's something that's already passed muster with the state health officer and with the Attorney General, and we could get into place as quick as possible. This was a concerted effort among 21 of 23 county health officers. There was an article last night in the Castro Tribune. They mentioned the counties that had submitted a mandate. It was the majority of the counties. The anticipated timeline is that they'll go into effect Wednesday, if the state has not issued a health mandate otherwise, and this first iteration will be in effect through the holidays till January 4th. That's the best timeline we've got now.
By Wednesday, you're talking about tomorrow, Wednesday.
Tomorrow, Wednesday, yes.
Okay. All right.
Commissioner Livingston.
We anticipate hearing tomorrow or Wednesday about this.
Just to update you on the Natrona County thing, the County Board of Commissioners passed a resolution requiring masks in county buildings 4 days ago.
Yeah, I saw that. I've got that resolution sitting in my mailbox. Okay, I've got Commissioner Fulkerson, then Commissioner Overfield.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Acting Chairman. Bill, I sent an email to Jack along what Dossie mentioned. hoping that the merchants can get signs that reference this public health order. The signs, again, the signs that were sent out are exactly what they're doing now. So hopefully if this goes into effect, we can have beef up those signs that reference the order. And again, I sent that to Jack too. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll make those changes and update that.
Okay. So, anything else, folks? Again, thanks, guys. Thanks. You know, it's a little bit like being President Dr. Bill. It seems like you might have a little more gray in your hair than when you started.
I think that's probably true. Commissioner Livingston, one thing I'd like to point out is we have had commissioners who have been very involved in this from the very beginning. Bill and I want you to know that our meetings that we have every week, multiple times, are always open to you. You have our cell phone numbers. Pick up the phone, call us. The sheriff's office calls me 24 hours a day anyways for search and rescue. We get up easy, we go back to sleep easy. I don't know about you, Bill, but that's the way it is for me. Call us, be involved, let us know your thoughts. Let us know what your constituents are thinking, because it's important to have that kind of input. We invite significant input at every step of the way.
Great. Appreciate it. Commissioners, anything else? Hearing none, I would entertain the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded, moved by Commissioner Overfield, seconded by Commissioner Fulkerson. Discussion, all those in favor? Looks like we're adjourned. I appreciate everyone doing what they did to make this first completely virtual meeting work. Seemed like it worked fairly smoothly. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.